Alright guys, welcome to another video on error handling. Okay, in the last video we looked at data structures, where we looked at the different data structures we have. We looked at some use cases and quite a number of examples on how to create them, why to use them, what are their benefits, what are the pros that they have. Okay, and today we will be looking at error handling. Now, one thing is sure, think that out. One thing is sure, right? In programming, errors happen. So the best thing we can do is to find a way of handling it without letting crash our entire program. We must find a way not to let errors that happen, expected or unexpected errors that happen. So that means we must anticipate unexpected errors and find a way to make sure it doesn't crash the entire application, which is something any professional would do. Okay, now let's look at what we have. Errors, okay, that's just what I said. Errors are inevitable parts of our programming. They are inevitable, they happen whether we want them or not. Okay, so the best thing to do is to what? Find a way to handle them very well. So what are the keywords that we use? We have the try, we have the except, we have the finally, and we have the else block. This is how we can make our code very, very robust. We can make them usable, repeatable, without any fear of a particular kind of error crashing our application. Okay, let me close this. Okay, now let's jump into the example. We'll be starting with the try and except. Okay, and what we want to do is, in this case, we just want to try the zero division error. Right, in Excel this will probably give a div error, right? Hashtag, then a div error. So let's think of a scenario for us to apply this. So okay, let's say for example we have a couple of friends maybe going out to a place, and then they're buying, of course they want to just hang out, and after hanging out they want to split bills amongst themselves. So, or probably it's, we have that in place already, that okay, when they come, we want to be able to tell them, okay, this is your bill, this is your bill, this is your bill. Or probably it's automated, right? Just walk in, you place your order, when you're about to pay, something pops up, new age, in front of you. So a screen like that pops up and say, oh, your bill on this table is in each person's bill on this table is this and that. So let's just do it. Okay, so do not forget the scenario is I want to split a bill amongst them. So let's say let's assume a value for them in this case. Okay, so let's just say scenario here is that we're splitting a certain amount of bill. So let's say splitting a $100 bill, dinner bill, amongst friends, right? So let's have a variable that says total bill is 100. Yeah, that's fine. And then we'll say we want to get the total number of friends, right? Number of people on that table, number of friends. In this case, we initiate it to 0, right? Now, if we try to divide, so let's say print each person pays, puts dollar here, then we'll pass in total bill divided by number of friends. Each person pays this, right? So let's execute that. do not forget, we have initiated the number of friends to 0. And that's like we're trying to split $100 bill amongst people who do not exist, right? It's just like trying to divide apple between 0 people. Ooh, okay. So now we see it. It's saying, oh, wait, a float division by error. So it's zero division error. So that's the kind of error that happens when we try to do this. So what can we do instead? We can say try it first, right? We can use the keyword try. See? Try. So try block contains the code that might raise an error. So if an error occurs, the except, which is the exception that it raised, it's saying, hello, right? So the exception I raised is what we now factor in into the except code or except block. Okay, so say try this. Oh, sorry. So say try doing this first. So if we say in this case, cost per person, right? Let's say cost per person on that table. So cost per person will be equals to total bill divided by number of friends. Total bill divided by number of friends. So we're now saying print. So let's indent this now. So print each person pays this. Okay. Now, one thing is important. Let's try to run this. You can see it says, oh, incomplete input, right? We've passed in this, but as you can see that this is just underlined right from the start. So let's pass in the except, the one that catches the exception. So say except, and of course that means if there is no bill or there are no friends. So we should get a 0 division. All right, let's just copy. Okay, it's gone. A 0 division error. And you can see it's available. You can see it right there. So put it this way and say print says error. Hey, you can't split a bill among 0 people. There must be at least one person to cover the bill, to cover the bill. Of course, in the first case, there will be people, so they know that there are people to cover the bill. So let's say they are to put in the number of people who is going to handle the bill so that they can know how much. So let's put in a better message. Please enter a number greater than 1. Because if you're saying you're splitting, then it cannot be a person that you're splitting among, right? You can't split the best. You can't split a bill among one person. So in this case as well, we will now put in cost per person, right? Cost per person. So let's see what this one shows us when we try to run it. Now you can see that instead of getting the error we have been seeing before, right? Let me bring this out for you to see. Okay, let me undo that first. Undo. I'll copy this, then I'll redo. Okay, so let's see the difference, and you see how neatly our code now is. So comment all of that out. We bring this to this point, and then we'll run. Now see all of this. This can be a lot of, oh, I don't know what's going on, right? Because it is, if as a beginner you might read this and you don't even know what's going on. What's this? What's this? What's this? You have a lot of questions. Of course, regardless of whatever it is, you should get comfortable reading errors and trying to figure out what happened. And see, it's pointing to this place, but that's because we are the developer. A user seeing this will not really know what is going on, right? So when you're showing a message to a user, you shouldn't show them this. So how do we undo it? I'll comment this out now. Let me undo and bring this. So I want to see a user-friendly message. So if we run this now, you can see it says, "Ooh, hey, you can't split a bill among 0 people. Please enter a number greater than 1." And you can see that that now make more sense, right? So you can see how the try and accept block has helped us undo this error in a very nice way, right? But of course, we can't say we're done, because what if we now have this? So let's say this. Now, this is a, oh, I put in 1. Let's put in 4. So it says each person pays 25. Where's the full stop coming from? Oh, okay. Yeah. So this full stop should not be there again. All right. So each person pays $25, right? But let's keep this on 0 and see what more we can do to this. Okay. Now, there is a pro tip for you. It's a good practice to catch exceptions rather than a broad exception, a specific one. It is good to not output a general error message, right? There should be some kind of way where you get a specific actual error message. Why? Because it allows you to handle different scenarios appropriately. Very important. Very, very important. Okay. And why is catching error, why should we be catching errors and all of that? Majorly for logging purpose, so that when things happen, we can know what went wrong on the hand. That means on our hand, right? We can be able to see, oh, this is what happened. This is what's not supposed to happen. This is what happened, and all of that. Okay, so very important, very, very important. So let's look at how to properly use the else block. Why is that? Because if this right here is not supposed to be in here, right? Because let's say the error actually happens, they only get this, right? So what if there is no error? How should we properly handle this? So this is where we undo it in the in the else block. So the else block is executed if the try block runs completely without any exception. That means no error happened. That is where we use the else block. Okay, so let's see how to do that inside our else block. So we'll just copy the code. Just copy the code. Control A, Control C. Okay, so in our else block, we'll paste that there. Is this, did I make this collapsible? I didn't. Okay. So yeah, just take this out. The scenario has not changed, so we'll leave the bill there, and the number of friends, for example, for now we'll still keep it at 0. So we can say, let me take this out. So here we can first print a message. Or let's say clerk. A waiter, let's just see something. Waiter. So we can say opening the calculator, or calculating your bill. Let's just use calculating your bill. Calculating your bill. All right, waiter, calculating your bill. So if each person if is it if now or when? Yeah, the word is when. So when, let's take out this, so we want this to be in the else block. Okay, so we have a div error, then we'll put this as else. Then we can say each person owes this, and then we can also say, we can just do that in a single line using the \n, sending the bill or printing the bill now, printing the bill for each person now. Okay, so we have where the waiter is calculating the bill. Now after calculation, we want to say, okay, you can split bill amongst the certain number of zero number of people, and then if this runs without error, this should come up next. But if there's an error, we don't get to see this. Okay, so now that is a 0, let's run that. It says waiter says, hey, calculating your bill, and then it says, oh, hey, oh, why do I have double space? Okay, then it says, hey, you can't split bill among 0 people, please enter a number greater than 1. So let's run that again. Now what if we pass in a valid number right here, 4? Enter. You can see waiter calculating your bill, each person pays $25, printing the bill for each person now. So you can see that now that makes more sense. So let's say waiter. All right, so let's run that again. Okay, so this now makes more sense, right? So you can see how I've been able to use the try and what's it called, the try, except, and the else block to undo error. Now just a quick one, what is the difference between try? Because we're looking at the last one now, which is finally. Do not forget this one runs only if any error does not happen in the try block, but this one runs regardless of whatever happened, whether an error occurred or not, it happens. So you can consider else as, I want to give you the difference now, the difference between else and finally. So else, you can consider else as a reward. That means it only runs if the try block succeeds perfectly without any error. If an error happens, the else is completely skipped. They skipped. Unlike the way we used to know it in a conventional if statement, where if and the elif blocks did not run, that's when the else run. But in this case, if try fails, else gets skipped. But finally, you can consider finally as a promise, right? It does not care what happened. It always runs no matter what. So it's more like a perfect way of what, maybe closing the file, stopping the music, resetting game states, all of those kind of things is a perfect way to do that, right? So let's keep that in mind. Now let's see how we can use finally, which is the last part of our code, to undo this. So let's just put this and bring in finally. We'll just copy all of this to make it easy. We're still using the same example. Okay. Just take this out. All right. I think we've done okay. So we have a total bill of 100, 4 people, 4 friends. So we change this to finally. But of course, the message will be different in this case. Finally. All right. So in this case, indentation error. All right. Okay. Everything seems to be on the same level now. Good. So here we can just say system. Thank you for dining with us. Well, they didn't dine with us, but yeah, I'll just put it that way. Thank you for dining with us. All right. So I'm gonna say ciao. So take out all of this. Take out all of this. Okay. So we run this. You can see calculating a bill, and we get thank you for dining with us. Now in this case, you might be thinking, oh, okay, but we don't have our actual message. So we have two ways to do that. We can either put this message alone in the try block. You can either put this message in the try block. So if there's an error, it resolves to this. So regardless of what the error is, we can still see this, right? So that means they will like have to retry. So it says now there's no error here, so it says thank you, you're welcome, printing the bill. But let's put this to be 0 and then run it again. It says hey, you can't split a bill among 0 people. Please enter the number greater than 1, and thank you for dining with us. So of course this message seems a bit weird, because if they actually bought something, or they shopped with us, or they came to eat in, and then we're saying okay, thank you for dining with us, does that mean they can go? Okay, so we can as well bring in the else block right here. So that shows us a combination of everything we've seen so far. So since finally runs regardless of whatever happens, so we must be conscious of the message we put in there. So our else can come in here, right? So the finally block is the one that stays last. The finally block is the one that stays last. So it says there's an error, and if we change this to a 4, then we'll run it again, and oh yeah, thank you. As the system says, oh, thank you for shopping with us or for dining with us. And yeah, that is all. So we have been able to do it to show or display all of this error. I've been able to use the finally, the else, the try, the except block. Now there's a spice on the cake on the icing. You can switch it. Yeah, there's a cake on the icing, there's a spice, there's a food in the spice, right? Which will make things even better. That's what we want to see now. Okay, raising exceptions. And when it comes to raising exceptions in Python, let's put it this way. For example, standard Python exceptions on their own, right? They look out for, let's say, inbuilt failures. Let me use a better one. Let's say systematic failures. such as, let's say, data type errors, division errors, and the likes. But here's where, or here's what make raising exceptions stand out or very powerful. Now, we want to build a solution, and for everything we want to build, it has to be tailored to the business requirements, right? And for business requirements, there are probably regulations and rules and all of that that must be in place, right? Because everything boils down to the business itself. Now, let's say for instance, Python might not necessarily know that, oh, for an e-commerce checkout, the negative, the shopping cart balance should not be negative, right? By default. Or let's say we're building a system that it's not for users under 13. Python will not automatically know that, oh, you're under 13, you can't just use it. We can't catch that using exceptions, right? So what can we do? So we can use raise exceptions, like use the keyword raise to catch all of this business validation logic early, right? So that we can stop the execution and route them to the proper place that they should go. So let's think of we'll just work with another scenario. This time, let's work with another scenario. So let's say in this case, we have been hired by, okay, let's just an ATM, what's it called now? An ATM or a bank. Yeah, let's just say ATM withdrawal. ATM withdrawal. Challenge. Let's just put it that way. So here we have been hired by a bank, right, to write a backend logic for routing their physical ATM cash dispenser, right? So what are the requirements in this case? So let's say, for example, we're starting with the fact that they have $500. Let's say the customer that comes there first, we just have to put in a value, right? Because we can't ask them for the balance. They can check their balance, but we should not ask them for their balance in this case. So we'll just hard code it at, let's say, $500. Now, we'll prompt them to enter the amount they want to withdraw. If they put in a value higher than their balance, we should be able to throw an error, insufficient balance. Okay, and if they try to do something sneaky or probably by accident, of course our ATM should not have a negative sign, but let's say they get to put a negative sign, or probably it's a withdrawal, anyhow it is, and then they put a negative sign. We should be able to also tell them that no, that cannot work as well. You cannot withdraw a negative amount. So eventually we want to be able to catch this error, or all these error that we raised. We want to be able to print them out to them, and finally we should be able to close out from whatever we're doing. Okay, so let's start. So we can say let's print, then we'll say the analytics flow, the analytics flow global ATM. So let's just do some fancy thing. Okay, so just want to kind of welcome them first. There's something at the top. I think they're both 3. And jump. Now, first thing is account balance, right? We want to have account balance. Or is it jumping everywhere? So account balance should be 500, and we want to ask them for their account balance. Okay, so but I think it's good if we just show them their balance first, so before they even do anything. current available balance. Available balance. Then that should be dollars account balance, right? So once we're able to show them the account balance, then we'll do a try. What do we want to try first, right? Amount to withdraw. Amount to withdraw. Okay. So we want to ask them. Now we can just do that in one line. Let's just convert, because by default the user input will be a text, right? We've covered that before. So enter the amount to withdraw. Enter the amount to withdraw. Okay. Now once they put in the amount to withdraw, we want to be able to check if the amount is less than 0 for negative value. So let's say if amount to withdraw is less or equal to 0, because if it's 0 as well, they can't withdraw. So we can say raise. We use the keyword raise. Then this will be a value error. Value error. Then we'll put in here transaction denied. Transaction denied. So what do we want to show them? Withdrawal. You can't withdraw. You can't withdraw below $1. You can't withdraw anything below $1. Below $1. Okay. So we have been able to undo that first one. Now the next one is the next one we want to undo is the account balance if they put in something greater than their current account balance. Okay. So say if amount is greater than account balance, that's amount to withdraw. If the amount to withdraw is greater than the account balance. Account balance, even if it's greater by a cent, right? So I want to tell them raise value error, and then we want to give them a separate message, right? We want to also show them their balance at once, so they can know, oh, this is what you can withdraw from here. So say transaction denied. Okay, transaction denied. Insufficient fund. Insufficient funds. Then we can say on a new line, your current maximum withdrawal limit is, and then we'll grab the account balance we have. Account balance. Okay. Maximum withdrawal limit is the account balance. Now, when we're using the try block, it is the except that helps us show or throw the message, right? The except helps us show users the message. The try block is just meant to handle what we want it to do first. See, can this work? If it can't work, then the except should say, oh, this is why the try block cannot work. So we must now find a way to pass this message to the users, right? So we can say except, and then we'll say value error. Okay, the value error we had. Now we can use an alias, which we're already used to since the days of SQL. It's also available in Python. Okay, so I want to say the value error should be as the error message that I want to pass in, and then we can say the indentation is for this. So print an error occurred. An error occurred. So I can say backslash security guard since account security guard activated. Account security guard activated, and then we'll say now passing the error message, right? So passing the error message, it's supposed to show up. All right, let's type it completely. So we want to pass in the error message once the user, right? Once the user run into any of this error, we want to show them, oh, an error has occurred, then security guard account activated, and they should see the error message. That's the error message of what happened. Okay, now what if there is no error? I want to show them the else block. Then of course we want to deduct their account balance first. So account balance, why are they not showing up? Okay, we have not executed this cell at all, right? The variable names are not showing up. So minus equal amount to withdraw. This variable name seems a bit weird at this point. I think we'll just stick to amount. Yeah, it's okay. Amount to withdraw. So then we can say, print. You already know what this will do. Negative equal to. It automatically deducts this from there. Okay. So amount to withdraw. We want to print. Please take your cash, or should I say, what message should we see first before taking your cash? System. Processing. And then on a new line, we say, please take your cash. Okay. So now I'll say, since please take your cash, we want to also show them their new account balance. So say print. We'll have to use an F string there. Transaction complete. Transaction complete. Transaction complete. Your new balance is of course we put a $sign first, and then we'll say account balance. Account balance. Okay, So now we have been able to do this. So finally, I want to say, okay, thank you for withdrawing, thank you for whatever it is. So I want to say finally, um, system, should we say, thank you, thank you. So you can say thank you. You can remove your card now. You can remove your card now. All right. So thank you. You can remove your card now. And I think basically this is pretty much everything we want to do. Let's just look at it again from the beginning. Now you can see how we built momentum from the very beginning, starting with just try and accept. Then we looked at try, accept, and else. Then we included finally, and now we're including raising exception. So it's a good thing that you go over it again, you take your time so that you can build or you can write good codes, Okay, so we're saying print this. Do not forget that the idea is they want to withdraw. Okay, so we can say just put in your card and enter your pin. Kindly insert your card and enter your pin. Okay, kindly insert your card and enter your pin. So we want to get the amount they want to withdraw. So once they do that, we check if the amount is less than 0. No, you can't do that. If the amount is greater than the account balance, no, you can't do that as well. So we want to show them this message, right? Because raising the value error does not necessarily print out the message. So I want to print out the message at this point that, oh, okay, this is what happened. So we have activated guard on your security. Now you will still take this to a better grade. We'll upgrade this. You will be the one to upgrade this, but let's look at this in the basic form first. Then the value error, you want to see the error message. So once we show them the message, we now go back to else. That means once this does not show an error, what should they do? If it shows an error, they kind of try again, right? So let's also do print, please try again. Okay. All right. So else, if no error happened, we want to see an account balance. We should deduct first the amount they're about to withdraw from their current account balance. Then say, okay, or processing. Then please take your cash. That means the cash is out. Then we'll tell them transaction complete. Your new account balance is this. Finally, which after everything is done, I want to say thank you. You can remove your card now. So that means even if it fails, we want them to remove their card and put it again, then try again. So let's run this and see. Let's hope we don't have any error. Okay, so we should have a path where it asks. So it says, okay, I think we need some spaces right there. Okay, we need some spaces right there, and we should probably not show them. Now if we look at this, we should probably show them their balance after they have inserted their card and entered their pin. Okay, so we'll stop this execution, we'll interrupt it. Now this should be okay. We want some space here, \n \n double space. Okay, so I want to print the account balance. Sorry, how did you jump there? So go back up. I want to print the account balance \n as well. So add the space to it. Then this \n double space. Okay, so everything looks cleaner. All right, let's run this again. Okay, all right, so it prints this, and then it's saying, oh, all right, this looks better. Welcome. Then you want to insert your card, you have put in your PIN, so it shows them their current balance. Good. So let's say we put in minus $100. What should we see? It says, oh, oops, an error occurred. And then what is the error? Okay, so there should be a space between these two should be together. So oops, account security got activated, transaction denied, and then you can't withdraw anything below $1, right? So after the input, we want to, okay, oops, where do we have the oops? So right here we should have a \n first. So these two stays together. Yeah, these two stays together. Just after this. Right? Good. These two stays together. And I think I noticed something else, which is, let's look at the message. Where is this message coming from? Account security got activated, transaction denied. Oh, okay. This is where this is coming from. Okay, good. So we'll run that again. Now let's put in an amount higher now. Let's say 501.1. Then it's saying enter the amount. It says oops, an error occurred. Account security got activated. Insufficient funds. Okay. Transaction denied. Insufficient funds. Says your current maximum withdrawal is 500. We need some space here and then say try again. So we just have to format this properly. So from the account security, the transaction denied should be an hyphen, because we have an hyphen already there. Okay, or this can be an hyphen. Then the account got activated should be, okay, hyphen instead. So what else looks weird? Your maximum withdrawal. There's a space before your max withdrawal. Okay, take out the space, add space here, put the $sign. Then after that, before please again try again, we want to have, okay, you can just put it here, \n. Okay, we have that, and then they can remove their card. Okay, let's try one more time, one last time, but let's just say with an error this time. 500.01. Let's see if it picks that correctly. Oh, it did. So oops, an error occurred. Account security got activated, transaction denied, insufficient. Current maximum withdrawal is 500. Please try again. Thank you. So before it shows your current maximum withdrawal, I'll probably want double space. All right. So now let's put in an actual value. Let's say minus 100 now first, just to test it again. Okay, everything looks well formatted. So we don't need this. Current account balance, we don't need that. Now let's put in $300 or 300 points. Let's say 0.5. I want to see how accurately our code calculates the balance. And says, oh, okay. It says enter the amount, processing, please take your cash, your current balance, transaction complete, your new balance is thank you, you can now remove your card. And yes, this is perfect. Don't worry about the formatting. I will not reformat right now. So, but you can just look at where to put a backslash n so that it appears on the next line. You see, all of these things are out there together is not cool enough. Okay, it's not cool enough. So yes, we have looked at raising exception. We now want to look at some common error exceptions. Okay, so the common error exceptions is what we want to look at so that you can have an idea, because so far you just see me type value error, you see me type zero division error, and you're probably wondering, how did I know all of them, or where did they come from? So don't worry, we'll look at a few examples together and then you have a good understanding of them. So let's look at some common exceptions. Now Python has many inbuilt types, okay, different kind of error, but these are the ones we'll probably see more often, and that's why I have them right here. The first one is syntax error, right? It occurs when you write something incorrectly. Let's say you omitted a what's it called now? You omitted a colon, right? You omitted a colon, you didn't put a colon, or you forgot to open a bracket, things like that. Those are syntax error. Now name error, you're trying, maybe you have a cell you wanted to execute but you haven't, right? You have a name you want to execute but you haven't, so that can cause a syntax error, right? So let's look at them quickly. So let's say if 9 is greater than 10, then we'll say print yes. Okay, so let's run this, and oops, now it says syntax error, is expecting what? A semicolon, so that is syntax error. Next one says name error. Okay, so we want to print out a variable name that does not exist. Now funny enough, it's possible that most times we already have the variable name, test variable, let's say test var. So we just have test var as 90. So we want to print out this test variable at this point, but because we are yet to execute that code, Python does not understand that it exists. So you see, name error, right? It says, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know if that exists or not. I think I missed something here, which is indentation error. I missed indentation error. So let's look at type error. When an operation is performed, of course, when you have different data type, for example, you're trying to add a number to a text, right? So let's see how that works. So let's say you want to do print 5 plus 10. So let's run that, waiting for that to run, and it says, ooh, type error, can only concatenate string, not integer. So I'm just showing you all this error, not just reading them to you, so that when you see them, your mind can go back quickly to, oh, this is probably what is going on, right? This is what we did wrong, this is what we didn't do wrong. Okay, I think I omitted indentation error. Let me add that, which is very, very important. One of the important ones that should have been at the top here. I'll just copy this and paste right here. And this will be indentation error. Indentation error occurs when a line of code is not indented properly. All right. Yeah, full stop, enter. Okay, so we have indentation error right there. So let's look at indentation error right after syntax error, because it's more like a syntax error itself. So let's use our if statement. If true, then I want to say print. So let's say, for example, we'll put print here. So I want to say print yes, it's true. What is true? I don't know too. So it's true. So if we run that, we'll be getting an indentation error, right? You can see it says no, this is meant to be justified in there. Okay, so know that all you have to do is just justify it and then it's going to run properly. But we are simulating the errors. Okay, so value error. Now, for example, it says when the function receives an argument of the correct type but an inappropriate value. Now, it's simple. Look at this. You want to typecast a text into an integer. If this were to be let's simulate that down here. If that were to be an actual number as a text, it's going to run fine. So let's say int, then we'll put 5 in quotes. There won't be any issue with this. It will be able to do that properly. But what if we type the 5 in words? If it was a boolean will convert it to true, no doubt. Okay, it says oops, value error. I don't know what you're trying to do. I'm trying, but I can't seem to understand this error. Okay, let's just put in something and then we'll say examples right there. Okay, so what else do we have? We have index error. When you're trying to access an index that is out of range. Let's say you have 4 items in your list and you're trying to access the 5th value or the 5th item, which does not exist. So let's just not a text, we want a code block. That's a code block. So we'll just say new lists quickly, new list, and then we'll put in 1, 2, 3. Or let's use names. Cats, not names of people. Cats, dog, snake. Okay, so this is what we have, and then let's say we want to print new list, and then we want to access variable 4. So we want to print 4. Let's see what that gives us. We have 0, 1, 2, 3 by index. So it says index error, list index out of range. That means oops, I don't know what you're trying to do right here. Okay, what else do we have? We have the key error. This is for a dictionary when you're trying to access a key that does not exist. Let's simulate that down here as well. Code. So let's say dictionary, my dictionary. Let's just create an empty dictionary and say my dictionary, then name. So let's try to access the name, then run that and say it's key error. The dictionary is completely empty. I'm trying to access the name. Of course, we can later have a value. Let's say a value we deleted earlier and we didn't remember. It's going to show the same error. Okay, so that is why we have a name error. We have a file not found error. That's when we're trying to open a file, but we didn't look at file handling, so I'll leave that out. The last one here is division error. Now this, we'll look at this when we are trying to import a file or trying to load a file, but it's saying oops, probably the file path we copied is wrong. Okay, that's basically what it means. And zero division error, which is the last one on the error handling, before I show you the exercise you will do, is trying to print, I mean, we've seen that before, zero division error. Let's just say print 100 divided by 0. Let's just put it like that, literally. Of course, you're saying you're trying to divide a value by nothing. You can't share something among nothing. Okay, there has to be at least 2 people before you can say you want to share. If it's 1 person, you're not sharing, right? So this is why we have a zero division error. So pro tip for you: familiarize yourselves with yourself. Okay, so familiarize yourself with common exception types, so that when an error occurs, the traceback will tell you the type of error, which is the type of error it is, which is your first step in debugging and fixing. Okay, Why do I have? I think I have a okay. Added. Yeah, that's gone. So it will tell you the type of error, because once you know the error, that is the best way to undo them. So yes, this is what we have so far. So I'll collapse the examples. Now you look at the mini exercise. I think I'll let you do this. I think is there hints there? Okay. So you have the hint. So I'll let you do this yourself. So look at it. You have been hired to write a program for a backend logic for the new self-automated booking ticket. Okay. The hardware engineers have already built the card reader, but they need you to write the software that can ask user for input without crashing. So what are the requirements? You ask user for input, you do a data type conversion, right? Because by default we get a text, right? So let's say they're trying to put in 0, right? Trying to type 0 to get free tickets, or negative number to mess with the machine, just to play around. You have to protect it by running that their age, they didn't type a 0 age, and they are also not putting 0 in there. So error catching, if they type something like in Word, you should be able to, just like we have seen earlier in one of our errors, you should be able to get them to say no. They have to type in numbers only. And if they type 0 or with a negative value, you should be able to catch that part as well. And the final part, which is the else, that's the victory. If no error occurs, you should print out, oh, ticket issued, enjoy your movie. And finally, of course, the usual finally, no matter what happens, they should be able to take back their card safely, right? We should eject their card and let them take it back. Okay, so you just want to be able to book a ticket for a movie they want to see. So try that, and then these are the special ones just for you. So you can just read through this on your own. So you pause it and then you read through it, give it a shot. So that's the first one. And the second one as well, you have it just like that, where you're doing something for a pizza delivery. Okay, see, just read it, take your time to read it. I'll collapse it as well, just to show you that you have quite a number of stuff to undo. And the third one, which is the streaming platform, where we have age restrictions, right? And that is what you have there as well. So yeah, with that, you can now master error handling in Python. Okay, you can now master error handling in Python. And of course, error handling is not limited to Python basics. You can use them as much as you want to. So coming after later is the bonus parts. I'll still keep it hidden like that, and then probably we'll move on to something else before we'll come back to the practical application, or we'll do the practical application first before we move on. So but till the next video, keep practicing and practicing. Do not forget to try out all of this exercise and do well. When you're done, use your Google Colab, share your link in the Telegram channel. The link will be in the description below. Let your work be reviewed. Let others also learn from you, or you learn from them as well. So till then, I'll see you in the next one.